it's very normal for us as human beings to be conflict avoidant. And really, that's because most of us have not had the best time with conflict. Often conflict goes poorly, and yeah, so of course we would want to avoid that in future. Harm minimization. Everyone would prefer to have fewer unpleasant experiences. Makes sense. But the thing that I find quite interesting is that when you teach people how to have healthy conflict, actually it revolutionizes everything. Suddenly it doesn't become this horrible, scary thing to avoid. It actually becomes this wonderful thing that people embrace, because conflict is a natural and in fact a healthy part of adult relationships. Conflict with interpersonal conflict, with your partner, family, friends, lover, or yeah, whatever. Really normal, really healthy. People don't know how to do it. And really, if you do know how, it becomes an opportunity to really strengthen a relationship by coming together and finding a middle ground, or finding a new level of understanding between two people, between someone who you care about but don't see eye to eye with. Because generally, apart from in workplaces where it affects your career, which is a slightly separate matter, but generally, we only get into conflict with our loved ones because we do care. If it was just some random stranger on the street, we'd just walk off. So we make the effort because something about their behavior, or what they're doing or saying, or how they're behaving, conflicts with our worldview and our perception of how things should be. And because we care enough to go to the effort to make a point about it. And here's the thing. Here's why conflict often, not always, but often breaks down. It's because people take things personally. And your opinion about a certain thing, I might hear as a reflection about me and my worth. For example, I was working with a client, and out of nowhere we were discussing conflict and conflict avoidance, and just kind of randomly I picked the example of when there's gross food and stuff left in the bottom of the sink, and you come home and maybe your partner's left that there and they haven't cleaned that out and after they used it. And that might upset you. You might have told them many times, and so you might remind them again. Now, that shouldn't be an issue, really. That should be a fairly standard run-of-the-mill, oh, yep, cool, all right. Thanks for the reminder, appreciate it. I'll keep that in mind, or something. But my client mentioned that every time lately things like that have come up, it's led to this whole blowout and this huge argument, and how could you, and you don't do this, and you don't know, which on a level makes sense, but it's not what we want. It's not the gold standard in our relationships or interactions. Now, why would such a thing occur? If we said, hey, there's stuff in the sink that's gross. How could you bastard? The reason that occurs is because of a miscommunication or a misinterpretation. The person would only get so upset if what was being said was in fact being heard as, you're a horrible person who doesn't look after the house or love me or care about this family. Now, a statement like that is likely to get such a reaction, but hey, there's gross stuff in the sink, again, shouldn't. So a lot of this stuff comes down to a lot of the conflict is in the tension comes from a mismatch between what is said and what's interpreted. And there are so many different strategies around this. The really important thing for you to hear now is that if you can nail this concept, if you can actually change the way that you present information, conflict could be fun. Conflict could be healthy. Conflict could be rewarding and elicit great change. Conflict is an opportunity to set some healthy boundaries which let the other person respect you, which increases the quality of the relationship. It's a great thing. One way to do it, and I'll throw this out very quickly, even though it could easily be its own entire video, is to use I statements. Because often people get upset when it seems like something is an attack on us. But if the person that we're talking to is really just talking about their experience of the world, that does make it pretty clear that it's not about us. If a person says, I really hate, I really dislike, or I find it really difficult when there's that gross food in the bottom of the sink and I have to pull it out, I find that really unpleasant, especially when I don't feel I'm the one who should have to do it, especially when I'm not the person who put it there in the first place. I. Maybe not the best example, I got a little bit weak towards the end there, but the point is that if we just say, I don't like this, it's very different to saying, I don't like you, or you're the problem. And that alone has the power to really shift a lot of potential tension in relationships, especially if the other person that you might frequently come into contact with is interested and motivated to explore some different ways that they might be able to communicate as well. Okay, thank you for your time. If you enjoyed this, it was kind of whatever. Today was a video. And if you enjoyed this, you like my style, you like what I have to say, hit subscribe, because I do make a new video every single day. Thank you for your time again. Hope this helps. Would love to hear how this resonated. Otherwise, go well.